Hello, hello, happy Sunday. Welcome to the
Hello.
live show.
Happy Sunday.
Yes, hope we're all doing great. Let's take a few seconds to reshare the video, then we can go ahead and kick off.
Yup.
Happy Sunday to you all. I'm just trying to find the live video. I have to refresh my Facebook page a million times in order to see it. Oh, there we go. Awesome. Happy Sunday and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm just trying to share. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Just trying to share the link as well.
Thank you all for being here today. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you for showing up. And again, it feels good to know that when we come live, there is somebody out there waiting for us to come live so they can be with us. So let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know how your Sunday is going. Share your thoughts, anything you would like to share with us. And happy Sunday to you. For those of you who are Catholics or any other people who celebrate the Palm Sunday, happy Palm Sunday to you and the beginning of Holy Week as we prepare for the resurrection of Christ. Hope you all have an amazing day. Thanks for the heart. So, Ice, are you done sharing? Can we go ahead and kick off?
Yeah, I think you can go ahead and start with the intro
All
while
right, great.
my thing load up here.
Awesome. Thanks again. So again, today is one of those days. For those of you who showed up last week, and I did put a post last week, we were not able to make it because we were out there supporting one of ours. And again, we could not make the show and be there. We just couldn't be on one place at a point, right? So we went out there to support Stanley on Clothing on his event that was taking place in Maryland. And here we are today. And today we are here to talk to you about resilience, right? And we want to talk about resilience because there is a lot around this word. There is a lot about around resilience that sometimes when we talk about it, I personally feel trapped. I ask myself, like, hey, how resilient, how much longer can I keep trying, right? How much can I hang on to this? How much can I hold on to whatever it is before I realize that, hey, maybe this is not right. Maybe I should let go. I think about those things sometimes. Then on the other side of it, I also look at it to be, hey, if I don't hold on to this thing this tight, if I give up so soon, it means I probably did not mean, I probably did not, I probably was not ready for this, right? I have used this word resilient a lot when I talk about my transition from academia into the tech world, right? It is one thing that I use, a word that I used a lot when, again, I got interviewed at some point a lot about, hey, how my journey has been or how I went through this whole process. And I use this word resilience a lot because the first thing is, what does it mean to you, right? When you hear that word resilience, what does it mean to you? It is how we grow through a challenge, right? That's the easiest way you can look at it. You have a challenge in your life, you have a challenge, and how do you grow? In spite of that challenge, how do you grow? How do you keep going? How do you hang on to that goal that you've set for yourself? So today, that's what we'll love to talk about. And we're going to be dissecting this. We'll be looking at this in different dimensions, in different directions, looking at it, giving different perspectives. A big shout out to those who have joined us. Thank you, Engwa. Thank you, Marius, for joining. We appreciate you for your time. So, Ice, that is what we'll be talking about today. We'll be giving our thoughts and perspectives on resilience and how, with like some of the examples, how can we walk through life in general, right? What are some of the things that we can do when it comes to when life hits you in the face, when you have that challenge that you have to grow through, some of the things that you can do in order to avoid a very dangerous crash, right? So those are the things that we want to talk about. And so I would love, again, if you don't mind, as we kick this off, have you said hi? Maybe I should give you an opportunity to say hi to the guests. So I'm just talking like I'm here alone.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Marius. Thanks, Engwa. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for the comments coming in. Keep them coming in. So I keep looking to my right because I'm looking at my screen. I'm looking at the comments that are coming in. So that's why I keep looking to my right, which might be the left to you from your end. But just want to thank you for taking the time to join us this Sunday afternoon.
Awesome. Thanks, Ice. Thanks for making the time as well. So again, I was about to hand the mic over to you because I wanted you to talk a little bit about this, like when we talk of resilience, right? Resilience only comes about when we are dealing with stuff, right? For someone who has nothing they're dealing with, or maybe they don't have any challenge or anything they need to take care of, I doubt if they're really going to use that word resilience. For somebody, I doubt if there's anybody in the world like that, though, that has everything, that everything comes to them on a platter of gold. I doubt. Everybody, even the richest in the world, have their own challenges. Even the most, there's always something that you're aiming for or you are looking forward to, right? It's not only about monetary things, it's a variety of different things in life. So if you don't mind, I would like for you to jump in and let's talk a little bit about some of those instances where we find ourselves in a place where it can get really crazy. Like you are challenged, right? We're talking again. I want us to really be mapping this all the way back to resilience, right? You are challenged, you're trying to get out of something, or something has happened. There are two ways, whichever way you want to tackle this, tackle it. Something has happened, you've probably gone through a disappointment, a failure, or anything, and you're thinking that, hey, I can handle this. I want you to use whichever dimension you want to use and talk to us about how you think somebody can actually deal with a challenge in their life to avoid a bad crash.
Um, to avoid a bad crash, you always crash. I just want to put that out there. You always crash. And now it's the way you crash that matters. And we'll talk about resilience, first of all, to add more perspective. When you want to do something, take for example, a building. When you want to build a house, you lay a foundation that is strong, that is resilient enough to withhold a tornado if that needs to happen. You want to build that strong foundation because guess what? There are challenges. The wind is going to come through. The storm is going to come. All of that. So you're building your foundation with knowledge that these challenges are going to come. Now, how you handle those challenges depending on how strong that foundation was. And it comes to everything in life. If you maybe you're setting up a goal in life, you want to start up a business, you want to build that strong business plan with a backup mechanism. You put that backup mechanism to know that, hey, what happens if my business fails? I have something to fall back. That failover mechanism, you have something to fall back to. And because they always say you build with knowledge that is going to fail, like all the time when you're building, you have to have knowledge that that thing is going to fail, which of course it's something that we don't it's not a good it you can say it's a good way to live, and it might be a good way to live, and it might not, depending on what we're talking about, right? If it's a business, yes, build with knowledge that something might fail. If it's something like a relationship, you don't want to think about that. Hey, am I building this relationship? How do I have a backup or a failover mechanism when dealing with another human? And in that point, it comes to what is your foundation within that relationship. Are you comfortable with your own self, or are you dependent on somebody? Can you be independent if that person is not around? That when we're talking about relationship. So for me, I look at it from what is that foundation that you have? Do you have failover mechanisms when it comes to things like businesses? When it comes to issues like relationship, how how clear, first of all, clarity in your relationship. Am I clear? Is there enough clarity of where we are and where we want to head to? Things like that. Am I comfortable in my own skin? Can I be independent without that other person? Or if that other person is not around, am I going to crash? So all of those factors, I want to start from that angle.
Great. That's awesome. So if we want to look at it, you started by talking, before you even went into the details of relationship, you started by talking about maybe it's a business, right? When you build a business, you want to you want to create space for what do you call it, a failover? Yeah, you want to create room for that. That is what you're calling a plan B. Okay, I want to build this business. I have this capital. I want to do this. What if my plan A fails? You want to be able to have a plan B, because one of the reasons we're talking about this today is because people easily crash. We are human beings. Failure hits us really hard. When we want things in life, when we put in the effort and it still fails, some people don't take those things lightly. Right? People put in all their effort. For example, you're trying to open a business, you put in all your income, you've even gone out and ask for money from your relatives and friends because you want to invest in this business, right? And you put all of that money in. We all know what business is. There is no guarantee to success. When you're starting a business, there is no guarantee that it's going to succeed. Yes, you have done your research. You've looked at all the, again, I'm not your most economic person with all the business words in my mouth, but you have looked at all the risk that might be in that market, in whatever market you're in. And you go in with the belief that, hey, this is what I want to do. What happens if it fails? What happened if that whole thing that you have invested so much time, your money, and even money that you've borrowed from other people, what happens if it fails? Right? So this is where we talk about it's important to have a plan B. And Ice, you mentioned something about the plan B, and you said for relationships. Personally, I'm not saying anybody should go cheating.
No, I did not say a plan B for relationships.
I
Maybe.
want a plan B for dating.
Okay.
I think that it's okay to have a plan B for dating. That is what I think.
Yeah, dating, not relationships, just to
Oh, okay.
stand corrected.
Relationship and dating are different. Okay. No. You're
And
getting me all confused.
no, I want to be clear. Like for me, the way I look at it, people look at it differently. And when I refer to dating, it's that time when you start communicating with somebody, getting to know them before getting into a relationship. At that point, you might be talking to two or more people, right? But when it comes to a relationship, like you're fully committed, you want to stick with one person. That's what I was trying to say over there.
Thank you for clarifying that, because I bet you that with all the years that listen to that, that is what I heard. I'm happy that you cleared that out. Okay, great. So we're looking at it. So again, the business, the relationship, it could be anything. It could be your job. It could be a career, right? You put in all the time. We're all talking about the possibilities of changing careers these days. Like, hey, you can do something different. People are trying to do jobs or to get into career paths that are more friendly with your family. Somebody might just recently get married and they're like, hey, you know what? Instead of going to work every day, I want to be able to work from home so I can have the opportunity to do so and so. There is change. Change is happening. We aspire for all these things. We hope for the best. We put in the work. We put in the money. We invest it. What happens if these things fail? How do you handle this? And this is where I'm going to throw it back to you, right? Somebody has gone through all of this, be it a business, be it a relationship, be it a career path. It could be anything. And they come to that point where everything crashes, everything just drops. And the reason I want you to talk to this is because there is this possibility. Recently in our communities, we've been hearing of people taking their lives. It is not a beautiful thing. It takes a while for somebody to get to that level. What, according to you, are some of the things that people can do to avoid getting onto that dark road that even nurses that kind of idea that they start thinking that their lives are worthless?
That is a tough one. But then, from my perspective, and anything I see here is not built on rock, and I'm just proposing things that
Perspective.
might work, or my perspective of what can work for me, or what I try to do. So sometimes we go through this disappointments, and you might start a small business, and and in our community, it's very, very easy for us to brush up pain. Something happens to you, you put in your sweat, maybe in a business, and it crashes, and people just have our massa. Now you be the first one for start business, me fail. But they don't understand the pain, the sweat you put into that, the dreams you had for yourself, and they just want to brush it up. And with that, you're like, oh, okay, let me just look for a distractor. It might be picking up a new career, it might be falling back to alcohol, it might be all of these things. So we bring distractors to obscure the pain that we were supposed to feel. Because it's very normal. Like sometimes you're going through something and your parents will just be like, you're very ungrateful. Why are you crying over this? You're very ungrateful. Allow people to go through the pain that they feel. Let people go through their pain. Because from the moment you say, hey, this is something, you're ungrateful, you keep crying over that, let somebody cry over, let them cry out that pain. Support them during that process. Don't let them stay down. Just support them, lift them up in that time or in that process. But they have to go through the pain, because we have that we like to brush up pain, to say, hey, we just need to, oh, we are religious, we just need to thank God. God says that you should be grateful no matter what happened. I don't think that's what God really means. I am not very, when it comes to the Bible, I don't know the words in detail, but I don't think that God himself says that we should not feel pain when it's time to feel pain. So let people go through the pain that they feel, because once they start piling it up, I might try today, I feel, my community will help me brush it up. My family will just brush it up. Hey, Masa, that thing has some small thing. You come over. You come over and like go enjoy, right? You don't let them process that. Like, really, what happened? What can I do, or what could I have done so that this doesn't fail? What made this thing failed? To understand the reasons for your failure and build on that. So once you pile them up, you keep piling them up, it comes a time when you're like, I tried the first time, it failed. I tried the second time, it failed. I tried the third time, it failed. It is not working for me. And they just crash. I believe we crash in that way. People get to that point of suicide, my personal belief, because they don't process their pain, and we don't have the culture to ask for support. First of all, if I start talking about therapy right now, people will look at me like I'm crazy. People will look at me like I'm mad, but I've gone to therapy. And I will still go to therapy. Anytime, I will never stop going to therapy if that is the solution. But I don't feel comfortable talking about going to therapy to my community, because the kinds of comments I will follow those comments will want to discourage me from going, because we don't have that support. We don't have that support. Like, hey, I'm going through this. Maybe I'm going through my career. I was laid off. I have a heartbreak. Things like this. People don't understand that can be super painful, especially in today's world where there is a lot of individualism. That communal activities, they are fading away. So people really this individualism culture is stepping into people's lives. So I just encourage people to go through your pain, seek for support. If you feel like your community is not giving you, go for professional support, go to therapy, and get the help that you need.
Yes, what I've gathered, one of the most important things I've gathered from what you've just said now, is the importance of going through pain, the importance of giving yourself that opportunity to heal, right? Because yes, a lot of us just use things as detractors, right? We'll just, okay, I've gone through something that really hurts me, that really makes me feel bad, but I just want to go out and drink with my friends. I want to come. You can only do that for so long, right? Or maybe I am in a relationship with someone that I knew was my all in all, and for some reason they fail me. What happens? It is important that you heal. it is important that you take the time to process. It is okay to feel pain. It is okay to be hurt. As I said, again, I don't think I'm any better than you when it comes to our knowledge of the Bible. But again, one thing I know for sure is that in as much as we are encouraged in the Bible to not hang on to our failure, but to keep hoping and believing for the best, there is nowhere in the Bible that we are told not to feel the pain, not to heal, right? When we encounter these difficulties, and again, God did not promise us a life without pain. He did not promise us that everything in life was going to be perfect. And so if these things are coming, it is important that we leave them. We have to leave this pain, leave the, because according to me, just to piggyback a little bit on what you said, Ice, according to me, the reason why anybody probably will find themselves in that dark corner where they start thinking that their lives have no value, or that hey, they are not even worth, they are not worth this world anymore, is because they have accumulated this pain. They have not given themselves the opportunity to talk through it, to heal through it, and they just go to that corner, find an opportunity. And again, truth be told, for the if you've listened to people who share their experiences about having suicidal thoughts, they'll tell you that that thing takes over your brain, it takes over your mind. You don't even want to get there because you don't even have, you feel like you don't have control anymore. So it is bad to even get there before you try to avoid it. And again, today we are just trying to share our perspectives on how we can even avoid getting there. And Ice brought up her idea, which is her perspective on this, which is that we need to create the time to heal. We need to create the time to go through that pain. Let your heart hurt. If you need to cry, cry it out. Will. Just do what you have to do, because that is what is going to relieve you. Oh, thanks to all those who have joined. Thank you for the hearts. I see some good hearts coming up. Oh, and I see, thank you so much, Ngwefoni, for joining. Blessings to you too. And Valley says, take time to cry. Tears clean the spirit. You come out on the other side relieved and with a new perspective. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Because just to add to that, sometimes we go to the wrong people to heal. You already know the people that will try to brush
Your
off your
pain.
pain. So sometimes it's better not to even go to those people. Even if it can be your family member, but if they don't let you heal, if they're the kind of people that will not let you cry, will just you're ungrateful and just push that pain aside. Don't go to them. You can go and talk to somebody it's an acquaintance that will understand, that will just listen. Sometimes all people need is a listening ear. I'm not talking to you to respond. I'm just talking to you to listen to me. I don't want no response. I just want to let this out. I just want to let this out. So listen and don't respond. So when somebody comes to you with a problem, don't try to give a solution all the time. Just
Yes,
listen to them.
especially if they have not asked.
Yes,
Right?
don't,
Especially if they
yeah,
have not asked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I,
listen to them.
I agree with that, because truly, I personally find myself in places where I just want to talk to someone, right? I just want to air it out. I just want to rant, whether at work or with my personal life or so. I reach out to my colleagues again. When I start working in a place, I look for the kind of people. If somebody is comfortable ranting to me, I always say, okay, maybe this is that one person at work. When we are all in the same milieu, right? We are experiencing the same things. If this person is comfortable ranting to, maybe I can rant to them as well. So I'll find that kind of person at work where I can just put 15 minutes on their calendar and say, hey, spit it out, right? Because to me, I just say it because I need it to get off my heart and my mind so I can focus. If I don't say it, I keep thinking about it. And this example I'm giving is actually work based. I hate to complete work, and when it's after 5 p.m. and I'm still thinking about it. I don't like, whenever it comes to my mind, I'm like, no, this is not happening. I need to do something. So I have a colleague at work that I will call. I'm like, hey, I need your ears. I need to rant. And she will listen to me. We'll do that with each other, and it helps. This is something that I can actually cultivate into our day-to-day lives, even not only at work, right? Because truth is, as I said, sometimes you can go to talk to you when you talk to people. Most of the times, the default thinking is that you want a solution. That is what 90% of people are going to think if you talk to them. That's again, these are my numbers. Okay. Majority of the people, if you call them and talk to them about something, they'll think that you're looking for a solution. So that is why it is important. Sometimes, because our minds are architected in that way, you want to be able to talk to someone, say, hey, Ice, there is something I would like to share with you, but you know what? Don't worry about solutioning it for me. Just listen to me. Call it out, because I bet you that most people are already on that side where they think, hey, if this person is coming to talk, they want a solution. And if you really know that what you don't want from that person is a solution, please call it out. Just
That's
say, hey, I
correct.
just need to talk. And
Yeah.
it helps.
That's good. Yeah, that's correct. And for those that are listening, please tell us how you deal with your challenges. What are
Mm-hmm.
some of the strategies that you use to deal with the different challenges that you face?
Yep.
And just to add to that, listening is a skill.
Yep. A big
Listening
one.
is a skill. And they always say the last person to talk in the room is the most smart person. Be that last person to talk in the room. And so drop all your different strategies that you use to go through different challenges that you face, because we all go through challenges. And even the Bible says that for you see the light at the end of the tunnel, but to get to that light, there are so many challenges that you need to walk through to get to that light. Yes, I see the light, but I have to go through a lot of challenges to
To
get to
get
that
there.
light. The Bible says that. So tell us the different challenges that you're facing, or sorry, not you're
Not the
facing,
challenges. Yeah.
the different strategies that you use to go through your challenges. Drop them
Yeah.
in the chat, please.
Yep. I would love to hear from at least a few people. How do you, and again, remember that when you're sharing this, somebody might be listening to that and will just probably take what you said into action. And who knows, the rate at which we are devaluing life these days, you might just be saving a life. So please share your thoughts. How do you handle your most, like, we all get into dark places, I believe. There is, at least we, at some point you get into that spot where you're like, oh God, what can I do? Oh God, what have I done? Right? And as we just talked about sharing with people, one of the challenges of sharing with people is finding that person that you can trust. And why do I say trust here? When you want to share stuff with someone, you're sharing it to that with that one person because you don't want to share it with the world. If I wanted to share it with the world, I'll come to my Facebook, turn on my camera, and talk. But because I pick one person to talk to, is because I want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk to the world about it. You get it? So people find it difficult to trust people because, hey, I'll come tell you something that is important to me, something that is pertinent to me. Some people find it hard to be vulnerable. I chose to be vulnerable with you. It is not easy to accept that position of vulnerability. I come to you and I'm vulnerable with you, then you take it out to the world. That does not help because it just pushes that person that has confided to you to a darker place. You get my point?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I have certain things. If you cannot be vulnerable with me, I can't trust you. For me, it's just that's my personal perspective. If you cannot be vulnerable with me, so the people that have been vulnerable with me, mostly my family and immediate family, but then those friends that will call me and cry, I hold them in very high regards. And those are friends. A friend that cries to me, I know that I'm special to that person. So I hold them in very high regards because it's not easy for somebody to show you the weakest part of them.
them.
That is my most vulnerable part that I don't want anybody to see. But if I can show you that, it means, and if anybody can show me that side of them, it means I'm special and they are special to me. So for me, that's super important. And it's okay to cry. I'll never forget when Crystal told me, Auntie Icy, it's okay to cry. She cried. I'm like, why do you keep crying? And she looked at me like, it's okay to cry. That statement has never left my mind. And if I want to cry, I'll cry. Even I'm praying. If something is not, even I call you guys and like, is this and that, I will still, if I want to cry, I'll
You
let it
cry.
out and it's over. And you feel so relieved after that. Like it's like it's a breath of fresh air. A new perspective just seeps into you. So there's a comment in the chat. Do you want to take that, Solange?
Oh, sure. I see a comment from Vali, and he says, to the men out there, it is okay to cry. I am 5'9" with a wingspan of an MMA fighter, a body mass of 60% muscle. That said, I cry. In 2012, driving from Paris to Amsterdam, I stopped at Sinless and cried for close to 45 minutes. Thereafter, I became a new man. Try it and thank me later.
Great one.
Yeah,
I don't
yes.
know. That made me emotional for a second.
Did it
Yeah.
just give you goosebumps?
Yeah. It's the sexiest thing is when you're a man. The sexiest men are men who cry.
Yeah, men will allow themselves to feel pain. But is this again? I don't want to change our topic. I don't want to go off topic. But remember that it is in this recent days, these recent years, that we are actually encouraging our boy kids, our boy children to cry, to say it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Remember, when we were growing up, it was very common to hear things like, hey, be a man, men don't cry. It was very common to hear those
Yeah.
things, right? So again, Valentine is saying this now. That is because he's a grown man that has untaught himself. This unteach or untaught, whichever one works, right? He has had to unteach himself certain things in order to get himself in this mindset that, hey, it is okay for me to cry. I bet that when he was in his early adult, like at early adult age, to cry was going to be like, hey, you're a weak man. Imagine him at Lycée, when he was in Lycée, like lower seat, upper seat, he burst out crying. Oh man, they're going to make a fool of you.
Yeah, of
Then,
course.
right? So again, it's just that encouragement that, hey, please, let's not tell our kids that men don't cry.
Men
We
need they
build
need to
something.
cry.
Yes, they need to cry. These boy kids have emotions just like the girl kids. So
Yeah.
it's important to treat them all the same and know that they have flesh and blood just like your girl child, and
Yeah.
it's okay for them to cry.
And
So
when you
thank you
do
so
that,
much, Vali, for sharing that. That was a good one.
yeah, and when they cry, they learn that it's okay to be compassionate. They are more compassionate, they are more empathetic. They see the pain, they can relate with the pain from the female perspective. They
On the
know
other side,
from
you
the other
guys.
side, they
Yeah.
understand that, hey, this is painful. This is what this person is going through. I know it because I've been there. You get it. So it's just something that, and I'm very looking at the world right now. Most parents, they bring up their kids, their male kids, the boys and girls. They're like, it's okay. It's okay to just cry. Let it out. It's okay,
Yeah.
which is a good thing.
My little girl told me once that she doesn't mind. She did something, and I was like, I'll make sure I'm going to whoop you before you go to bed. And yeah, she told me, she's like, she doesn't mind because when she cries, she sleeps better at night. So even if I had to beat her, I didn't beat her anymore because she just used that to kill me. She's like, when I cry, mommy, when I cry, I sleep better. I was like, okay, then I'm not going to give you a good night's sleep. I'm not going to deprive
Yeah,
you. Yeah. So
yeah.
again, thanks for sharing. Thank you, Glory, for joining. We appreciate you. Thanks, Vali, for sharing that. Anyone else? How do you handle your challenges? How do you stop yourself from going into those dark spots in life, right? And even if you're in that dark spot, how do you get out of it? Please share your thoughts. It might be beneficial to someone out there who find themselves listening to us. So please share your thoughts with us. We are open.
Yeah, and just to add more emphasis to this, it's okay to seek professional help. You don't have any mental issue if you're seeking for professional help. You are very fine. You are the most sane person in the community where you go for a professional relationship. I know when we start talking about therapists, people are like, oh, so you don't start crazy. No, it's not madness. It's that man get mental. Now why are they sick? It is not craziness. It's okay to seek for professional help. Most of us, especially in the West, we have health insurances, and all these therapy sessions are covered. Go
And
to
we don't
them.
use them.
We don't use it. Go to therapy. It must not be that you have a problem that is about to kill you. But when it starts piling up, then you're going to get into that dark hole. That's not where you want to get, you want to go to. If you just realize that, hey, why do I get up every morning feeling unhappy? There's a problem. Why do I get up every morning feeling unhappy? Why can't I smile? Why can't I be happy for others? There is something happening within you that you can't even identify.
Yeah.
So you need to go for help. You need to seek help. So do it.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
And some people wake up and they're like, but anyway, I'm not saying some people. There was a time that I would get out of bed and I feel so tired. Then I look at the time. It's 6 a.m. and I went to bed at about 10, which means I've been in bed for long enough. Under normal circumstances, I should feel well rested in the morning,
Yeah.
right? But I
Yeah.
wake up and I struggle to get out of bed. It's little things, all those little things put together, they just make you crash.
Yeah.
And again, therapy is not for for mad people, as we call them in Cameroon.
Yeah.
Therapy is not because somebody is crazy or something. Therapy is just, again, is Charlene calls it what? Counseling. Okay, Wills the Colon says, go for counseling. Tell a professional stranger the things you don't want to tell anyone. Yeah, that's just what I said. Most of us who live out here, our insurance policies, I bet you that if you live somewhere, if you live in the US and you have insurance through your job, go check it out. Most of us do have those counseling therapy sessions covered in our therapy, in our insurance. Now you don't need to pay, even if you're paying a co-pay, is the same thing that you're paying when you see a doctor. So
Yeah.
yes, these people are not cheap, but again, it's paid for under your insurance because your mental health is part of your health, right? So yes, I agree with you, Wills the Colon, to talk with someone if you don't want to feel judged, or if you're scared, as I mentioned earlier on Ice, that you go and expose yourself, you go and say your thing to someone, and by the time you know it, it's posted on the internet, or someone else is using it as an example. Those kinds of things make people crash as well, right?
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
confided in someone and that person failed them.
Yep.
You get it. So that's why I still agree with both you and Wills Colon on that whole therapy and professional counselor thing,
Yeah.
to use them. And even I just did not do that research now. I know that there was a time, there is a hotline, there is an online service for therapists. I've seen that being posted
I've
online.
used that before.
You use, and you can access that even from Cameroon, right?
Yep.
You don't have to be in the be out of Cameroon to use it. I know that there was a time that there was this lady that was advertising that and like, hey, talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
So even from Cameroon, you can consult with these people, and they do have. I will look for it, and I'll add it under the comment section of this video for anyone who comes across it, and you might need help. Or if you know somebody that probably needs help, that probably needs you feel like, okay, because sometimes you might know that someone is going through something and they are not saying it, right? And you can just maybe help them, coach them to like, hey, you know what? I'm not asking you to talk to me, but talk to someone who can help
Yeah.
you. And
Yeah.
these are resources. These are people you don't even know. They don't know you. So your
Yeah.
information is safe with them,
Yeah.
right? Go talk to them and just seek help.
Yep.
Seek help.
And if you have that friend, family member that you know that they were open, they were vibrant, and they just disappear, check on them.
Oh yeah.
Check on them.
Oh yeah.
If you have that friend, that family member that you know, you guys, you always vibe together, you were in close communication, but they just disappeared, please check on them. Because that's how people just withdraw. Another part of depression is withdrawal.
Withdrawal.
People withdraw from your community, from their friends, from their family. You want to check on them like, hey, are you okay? Are you doing okay? Just call in and check on them once. If you feel, and if they tell you, hey, I'm just busy, maybe it's school, maybe it's work, all of that, then you know they are okay, they are just busy. But then if like, oh man, I'm just going through a lot, you want to keep it consistent. consistently checking on them, and also provide them resources. If they are not talking to you, it means they don't want to talk to you. Provide them, send them resources. We have a lot of free resources when it comes to therapy, especially in the States. We have a lot of them. The one I used earlier was when I just moved here, was free. I didn't pay a dime. So it was free, and there are a lot of them. How do they call those things again? I've forgotten. I've forgotten when professionals provide free services. I've forgotten. But then take advantage of those, check on them, provide those resources to your friends and family that you feel like they've withdrawn from the community and from the family. Do that, and
Yes, and as Vali says, withdrawal, good point. Withdrawal does not mean someone is owing money. Of course not. It is not. It doesn't always mean.
Yeah.
There are people who owe money and they still talk to they will be the one even forwarding things to your face.
Yes.
And they owe you money, but they will still come and be showing you all the goodies of their lives.
Yes,
So,
Vali, thank you. Pro bono.
Pro bono.
Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot of it in this country.
Yeah.
Churches and all of these all of these organizations that offer these things. So use them.
Yep, I agree. This is awesome. We appreciate you so much. We thank you for your contributions. This has been great. We hope that this conversation goes out there. It reaches someone who needed to hear this, and that, again, it makes someone change their life, change their perspective, change their mind on how they handle things.
Yep.
Right. And again, about this, all what we've said here is our perspective, is how we look at things, is how we see things. Nothing is set on stone. Nothing we say out here is like, hey, this is what you must do. It is what we think is good and could be helpful to anybody that finds value in it. And so, I think that concludes our show for today.
Yep.
Resilience, how to grow through a challenge. I hope that you find those ways. You get the tips that have been shared in here. Talk to someone, seek help, and believe. Pray, but also know that when you pray, you have to heal, or make healing part of your prayer. Don't just pray and then continue looking for those detractors from your pain. Let yourself feel the pain, heal from that pain, and I bet you that you'll feel a lot better.
Yep. Yeah. And so thank you all who have contributed. Thanks for all of those that have commented and liked this video. And my word to you is, I know this day strong. We used to say a strong person or a strong woman and all of that. Being strong is not being able to cry or feel pain. Being strong is being able to be vulnerable and go through that pain. That's the real meaning of strength. When you accept your career conditions, go through those challenges, feel the pain and accept it, suck it in, and cry if you have to cry, and all of that. So stay safe out there. Check on your family, check on your friends, go seek for help if you need one, and continue to be kind to each other. Thank you, and have a blessed week ahead of you.
Thank you all so much. Have a great Holy Week to those who celebrate Easter.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.